With Trump's criminal trial wrapping up, sources tell NBC News that President Biden is preparing a more aggressive stance, and it could include branding Trump as a convicted felon if he's found guilty. This is how one source summed up the Biden message. Quote, Trump's legal troubles are not going to keep him out of the White House. Only one thing will do that: voting this November for Biden. I want to welcome Axios political reporter, my old friend Hans Nichols, and MSNBC senior political analyst Matthew Dowd. He is also a former George W. Bush strategist and founder of Country Over Party. Matthew, explain to our audience why it is so important for President Biden to remind and explain to voters that these trials, the court system, will not keep Donald Trump out of the White House automatically.
Well, I think it's even broader than that. It's to define why the court systems matter and why law and order matters and why our justice system matters and why a Trump presidency would do away with those things or seriously hamper those things, including all the other freedoms we've talked about before, from women's health freedoms, all the other freedoms that it has. I think that's the argument that Joe Biden finally has to return to and keep on from now until Election Day. That's the argument that's going to win the campaign if he so chooses to make that argument. Arguing about the economy and whether or not it's good and whether or not the Biden presidency was better than the Trump presidency, I think all are losers for Biden at this point, even though the facts may say otherwise. I think that's not the campaign they need to run.
Hans, this case has sucked so much oxygen out of the campaign. It has gotten almost all of the press coverage because it's unprecedented. Now that it is almost over, what does the Biden campaign want the election to be about once the trial's behind us?
Oh, Donald Trump and Donald Trump's record. I mean, every opportunity they get, they make this about Donald Trump. They want this to be a choice. I agree with Matt's point, and Matt's run presidential campaigns at a successful level, so listen to him a lot more than you listen to me. And I say that not just because Matt's a friend, because he has the record to support it. But, you know, every time they have an opportunity to turn this into a choice and not a referendum, they're going to take that opportunity. So today you saw a little bit of that with their, I don't know if stunt's the right word, their move outside the courthouse. They want to draw attention to Donald Trump. And that's really what they're going to be doing for the next 5 months. So, you know, the president has two big challenges, opening up the aperture a little bit. He needs to convince independents, and there are still some independents out there. And I suspect that some of Trump's legal challenges might pose a problem for him with independents. But more importantly, Biden needs, and maybe more immediately, Biden needs his base to come home. That's Hispanics, that's African Americans, black voters, and that's young people. And that hasn't happened yet for Biden, but they're confident that it will.
All right, Hans, let's talk about the press, because Donald Trump for decades has known how to get press. Nobody can compete with that. But why should we believe, as he likes to say, all press is good press? Since 2016, all Trump has done is lose. His party has underperformed. And while he does get wall-to-wall coverage, it's as a criminal defendant.
Yeah, but his polling numbers haven't gone down that far when he's been in the courtroom, which is something I'm going to yield to Mr. Dowd to explain. Matthew.
I actually think that's a real important, and Hans, great to be on with you, my friend, again, then all three of us actually reuniting on this new venture. I think if you go back and look at the data of what happened with Donald Trump, is that in 2016, when he was able to win, he actually disappeared from the camera and disappeared from the limelight more than he did before when he was losing. In 2020, he can't help himself. He couldn't help himself, and he wanted to always be in the front. He loses. And I think that's the thing. I don't think other people in their campaign probably understand this. I think what the trial has done is basically freeze the race at a roughly dead even race, because I think without Donald Trump out there doing his thing, I don't think the Biden campaign could do their thing as much because Donald Trump was in the courthouse. And I think the Biden campaign felt hamstrung by their ability to make the argument that Hans laid out and said they need to make. And so I actually think, for weird reasons, the lengthy trial, depending on the outcome, the lengthy trial probably benefited Donald Trump for 6 or 8 weeks because it gave them an opportunity to avoid it being a choice election because it was frozen in this time period. That's going to end, and I think a lot depends on the result of the trial. I think whether or not he's convicted could be one of the most important points of this campaign, including the debates. There's only going to be 4 or 5 pivot points of this entire campaign, and the results of the trial is one of those pivot points in the race.